Next is impulse. What is meant by impulse and why you need the impulse? Impulse concept is basically used when you apply the force on the object and its value is not constant. What does this mean? I suppose that there is an object. Initially, you apply the force of 2 Newton. When the object comes at this position, you apply the force of 5 Newton. After that, you apply the force of 10 Newton. So, in all of these cases, the magnitude of the applied force is not constant, it's not same. Initially, you apply the force of 2 Newton, after that, you apply the force of 5 Newton, and at the end, you apply the force of 10 Newton. So, the applied force does not remain constant, and this force acts for a very short interval of time. When both of these conditions happen, you cannot simply use the concept of the momentum. In this condition, you have to use the concept of the impulse. So I can simply say that the concept of the impulse is used when the applied force is not constant and it acts for a very short interval of time. The momentum of the object changes when the unbalanced resultant force acts on it. It is because of the reason I simply say that momentum is the product of mass and velocity of the body. When the body accelerates or decelerates, it means that there is the production of the acceleration in the body. Then according to F is equals to ma, when there is an acceleration produced in a body, it means that there is the resultant force acting on that body. Because when there is acceleration, of course, there is also the force acting on the object. So this force should be unbalanced force. Means that the total force on the object can never be equals to 0. First of all, you need to consider the concept of unbalanced force. If I consider this object, you apply the two forces on this object. I suppose that 5 Newton force is applied towards the right and 2 Newton force is applied towards the left. So in this case, when you have to find out the resultant force or the total force, how you can find it? Right here, the total force, it would be equals to 5 Newton force is acting towards right, and you also know that force is a vector quantity. All the rightward quantities are taken as positive. That's why the 5 Newton force is positive. I write here plus 5 Newton. After that, there is a force that is acting towards the left. It is 2 Newton. But it is acting towards the left. It means that you have to write it with minus sign. So there should be minus 2 Newton. When you solve this, it comes to be 3 Newton. So in this case, the total force is equals to 3 Newton, which is not equals to 0. When the total force is not equals to 0, you can simply say that there is unbalanced resultant force acting on the object. Resultant or total force, both of these are the same terms. So I can simply say here that unbalanced resultant force acts on the object when the total force is not equals to 0. If I ask a question from you, I have this object and I apply the two forces on this object. One force is 3 Newton that is acting in upward direction, and there is also the other force which is acting in downward direction and its magnitude is 3 Newton. Can you tell me either there are unbalanced resultant force acting on this body or not? You just have to show this. So in this example, you just need to show that either the unbalanced force is acting on this object or not. You have to follow the same steps. Find out the total force acting on the object by considering that the rightward and upward forces are positive and leftward and downward forces are negative. Find out the total force acting on this object and tell that either these forces are unbalanced or not. So at the end, how we can define the impulse? Impulse is basically the product of the force, because at the start we learned that the impulse is applied when the applied force is not constant and it acts for very short interval of time. So by this I can simply say that the impulse is the product of the force and the time during which the force acts on the object. If I suppose that there is object, you apply a force on this object, then this object start moving towards right. In this case, this object takes small time to move, which is t. So I can simply say that the product of the force and the time during which the force is acting on the body is called as impulse. The impulse is represented by the I. So I write here I, which is a symbolic form of the impulse. Its the formula is given. The impulse is equals to force multiply the change in time. Change in times comes here because first of all you apply the force on the object. It takes time. After that, when the object moves, it also takes time. So you just need to find out the change in time. I can simply say that the impulse is the product of the force and the time during which the force is acting on that object. And I is equals to F multiplied by delta t, which is the formula for the calculation of the impulse when the force and time is given. I suppose that you are given impulse and the change in time in the question and you have to find out the force. How you can find the force? You just need to rearrange this formula as I is equals to F multiplied by delta t. You have to find out the force. It means that you need to make the force as a subject. So I write here F is equals to I over delta t. Just divide the impulse with the change in time, you get the force. So in this way you can calculate the unknown variable from these three if the two variables are known. Next we have to see the unit of the impulse. First of all I write its formula. I is equals to F cross t. The force is measured in newtons and the time is measured in second. So the unit of the impulse is Newton second. It's given here. The unit of the force is Newton, which is represented by the N. Time is measured in seconds, which is represented by the S. Therefore, you know that impulse is the product of the force and the time. You just need to multiply both of these units. You get Newton second, which is the unit for the impulse. You also know that the unit of the momentum is also Newton second. Both of these quantities, impulse and momentum, have the same unit. Next is very important relationship, that is relating the impulse with the momentum of the body. So this relation is that the change in momentum of the body, which is final momentum minus initial momentum, it is equals to the impulse which is provided by the force. This relation is basically used to solve many problems related to the momentum. So I can simply say that the change in momentum is equals to impulse provided by the force. How it comes equals to the impulse? This basically comes by the Newton's second law. If I write here F is equals to ma, put here the value of acceleration, which is change in velocity. So there would be m vf minus vi, final velocity minus initial velocity divided by time. You need to multiply the time with the force. So here is F multiplied by t. It is equals to m and change in velocity. As you know that momentum is the product of mass and velocity. When there is change in velocity and the mass product, this would basically becomes as change in momentum, which is represented by delta p. So that's why I can simply say that the change in momentum of the object is equals to the impulse provided by the force. Here is the relation I, which is the symbol of the impulse. It is basically equals to the force multiplied by change in time. You know that you can simply define the impulse. It's the product of the force and the change in time. And this is basically equals to change in momentum. Change in momentum, why it's equals to change in momentum? It is basically by the Newton's second law of motion. You have to rearrange the terms and put the value. Then you get that impulse is equals to the change in momentum provided by the force. And you know that momentum P is the product of mass and velocity. When I replace the velocity with delta V, which is the change in velocity, and multiply it with V, then the momentum is replaced by the change in momentum, which is delta P. So I can simply say that the change in momentum is equals to the product of the mass and the change in velocity of the body. The resultant force is equals to the change in momentum per unit change in time. How it becomes equal? According to this relation that is written here, if I take the two terms F multiplied by delta T, which is the formula of the impulse, it is equals to change in momentum delta P. If I suppose that in any question you are given the change in momentum and change in time, and you need to find out the resultant force, which is F here, you can simply calculate it by rearranging this equation. It would be equals to delta P over delta T, which is the change in momentum per unit change in time. This is basically equals to the applied force. I can simply say that the applied force is equals to the change in momentum per unit change in time. It's also given here. From here, basically you need to remember the two formulas that are relating the momentum with impulse, which is I is equals to delta P, and then F multiplied by T is equals to delta P. Remember both of these relation. In the exam, the questions are related mostly with the relation of the momentum with the impulse of the body. That's why you can use these both relation to find out the unknown variable when all the variables are known. Here is the examination tips. Remember that the impulse and momentum, both of these have the same units. You calculate the unit of the impulse, its force multiplied by the change in time. The force is measured in Newton and the time is measured in second. So the unit for the impulse is Newton second. After that, if we talk about the unit of the momentum, P is equals to the product of mass and the velocity of the body. The mass is measured in kilogram and the velocity is measured in meters per second. When you write the momentum in term of Newton, it comes to be Newton second. So you can simply say that the impulse and momentum, both of these have the same unit by this equation, which is I is equals to delta P. As the impulse and the change in momentum is equal, if I suppose that the body is at rest and then it start moving, then in this case I can write here final momentum minus initial momentum. Initial momentum would be equals to 0. Then the impulse is equals to final momentum, which I suppose that it is equals to P. So by this relation, I is equals to P. As the impulse and momentum, both of these are equal, it means that both of these have the same unit. If the impulse has unit Newton second, of course for the momentum the unit should be Newton second. So I can simply say that the impulse and momentum have the same unit. Again, consider the sign of the velocity while calculating the impulse, because impulse is equals to the change in momentum. You know that the impulse is equals to the change in momentum of the body, and momentum is a vector quantity. So you have to consider the positive or negative sign with the momentum because it has direction, And the positive or negative sign in the momentum comes because the velocity might be positive or it may be negative. That's why when you are going to calculate the impulse, keep it equals to the change in momentum. Consider the sign also with the velocity accordingly with the momentum, and then solve the questions related to that. Here is exam question. A ball has a mass of 2.0 kilogram. The ball approaches the wall at the speed of 3.0 meter per second and rebounds at the speed of 1.0 meters per second. So basically it's given here that there is a ball whose mass is 2.0 kilogram. This ball is approaching towards the wall at the speed of 3.0 meters per second, and when it rebounds back, its velocity is 1.0 meters per second. What is the impulse on the wall? You have to calculate the value of the impulse. Now we will see the options. Option A 4.0 Newton, B 4.0 Newton second, C 8.0 Newton, D 8.0 Newton second. First of all, see the option. These options are actually confusing. You know that Newton is the unit for the force. In the answers, two units are shown. First is Newton and the second one is Newton second. And in this question, you actually have to calculate the impulse. You know that the impulse is measured in Newton second. The unit of the impulse is Newton second. And force is measured in Newton. It means from here option A means answer A, which is given in Newton, it's incorrect, and also the answer C, because here we have to calculate the impulse and impulse is measured in Newton second. So from here answer B or D, these are correct. For that, to check that which answer is correct, I have to solve this question. So let's see the answer and explanation for that. First of all, you know that impulse is the product of the force and time. So I can simply write here I is equals to force multiplied by change in time. After that, impulse is equals to the change in momentum of the object. I is equals to delta P, which is the change in momentum of the object. And the change in momentum is basically the product of the mass and the change in velocity of the body. That's why I is equals to m multiplied by delta V. The value of the mass is given 2 kilogram. After that, we need to find out the change in velocity. The change in velocity, you know that it's final velocity minus initial velocity. Let's go back and see the values of initial velocity and final velocity. Here, first of all, the ball is approaching towards the wall and it's moving with 3.0 meters per second. See that it's moving towards the left. So, the initial velocity is minus 3.0 meters per second. After that, the ball rebounds back and moves towards the right, so that the final velocity is 1.0 meters per second. The final velocity would be positive. So that's why I put here final velocity is 1 minus the initial velocity is minus 3.0. When you solve this, you get 4.0 meters per second, which is the change in velocity. After that, you have to find out the change in momentum, because delta P, which is the change in momentum, it is equals to mass times the change in velocity. Mass is given, which is 2 kilogram. Multiply 2 with 4, you get 8 Newton second, which is the change in momentum. And according to this relation, I is equals to change in momentum, means that the impulse and change in momentum, both of these are equal. Therefore, the impulse is equals to 8 Newton second, which is equals to the change in momentum. From here, answer D is correct. So let's see the answers from here. In the answer D, the impulse is given which is 8.0 Newton second. It means that answer D is correct from here. Answer B is not correct because here the impulse is given 4.0 Newton second. So that's why it's not correct.